this week we are going to be doing sweet corn fritters. Family favourite, we always do it when we go camping, so another one to remind us of holidays. It's really simple, so this shouldn't be a too long video. I'm going to wash my hands and then show you what you need. Right, so this is a really simple recipe. It basically is made from a simple batter. 125 grams of flour. Yes, I apologise, it is another flour recipe, but the flour is now starting to come back into the stores. So 125 grams of flour that then needs egg and milk added to it. The best way to do that is really to sort of mix that up to start off with. So I'm going to put my milk in first, which is 150 ml of milk, or 1/4 of a pint, not lots. And then remember that trick when cracking your egg, to make sure you get nice clean crack. Don't get too much shell in with your milk. There we go. And then whisk that up with your fork. Okay, so all things that you should be familiar with at the moment, and you should be able to see nice frothy egg. Right. So remove those aside. Essentially what you're then doing is pouring this in with your flour. If you do a bit at a time, it's a bit easier to mix it up and make sure you don't have too many lumps. Now it should be a reasonably thick batter, so it does sometimes, I find, become a bit of a judgment call. So you can see it's sort of looking quite dough-like at the moment. That's almost too thick. So I might add in just a little bit more milk to that. And batters are generally like that. You do have to sort of judge them. I don't want it to be dough-like. I want it to be runny. So what I'm going to do is just add in a touch more milk. But what I've done is, because it's quite thick, I've been able to move it around quite quickly and get rid of most of those flour lumps. So that's one of the key advantages of that. So I've literally just added in, you can see just a dribble more milk there. So I want it to be more like a batter. It is thicker than a pancake batter. Okay, so you don't want it too thin and runny. There we go, that's better. So what should happen is, as you turn it, you should be able to see the bottom of the bowl. Can you see that? So it's thick enough that as I stir, I can see the bottom of the bowl. And that's one of the key processes of it. Right. So now I'm going to add in my sweet corn. Okay, and generally it will take a whole tin of sweet corn. Okay, just drain off your sweet corn a little bit before adding it. Okay, because we don't want to add any more liquid to that. And in goes my sweet corn. There we go. And that essentially is my sweet corn fritter mix. Now you can add anything else you like to this. You could chop up little pieces of chorizo and you could put that in. You could chop up ham and pop that in. Bits of sausage, pop those in. Peas, that's been a popular one in my household. We've done peas and sweet corn before. So you can put anything in with this if you want to. I'm actually going to do half just sweet corn, and then I'm going to show you how to do some bacon and add some bacon in as well. Okay, so let's get frying. Right, okay, so for frying, we want it on a reasonably large heat, because we do want it to be quite warm. We're going to be trying to cook in quite warm fat. You will need your oil, and you'll probably need to keep adding the oil. I'm just going to turn that on first. Okay, there we go. So start off with a couple of tablespoons of oil. Okay, you need to let that warm up just a little bit before you put your first one in. Now I find the best way to portion these out is actually to use a ladle, and that enables you to scoop it out of the bowl and just dollop them in, technical terms. You could, if you wanted to, put them in your jug and maybe pour them in one at a time, so that can help as well. That's another way of doing it. Okay, so that is starting to look, you can see my oil is starting to crinkle slightly, but it's not smoking, which is a good thing. All right, so don't leave your oil too long. Oil will catch light. Okay, but you should be able to see it's got warm because it sort of goes almost crinkly like the top of water. Okay, so one portion, one ladle, it's about 2/3 full, and just place that to one side. There we go. I'll try and get another one to the other side. You always find the first few have lots of sweet corn in them, and they start to slim down. Okay, so you can see the bubbles around the edge of them, so I know that the fat is hot enough for them, and you will start to hear them sizzle a bit more now as well. So again, wooden spatula to make sure we can move them around. Once they start to move, they're pretty much ready to turn over. Okay. Stuck to my spatula, there we go. That was better, and that was better. So in frying anything, you need to be really conscious of the fat because it will spit. Okay, so you do need to be a bit conscious of that. And these bits that stick to the bottom, and even stuck to the bottom, they're going to obscure everything else from cooking and moving around properly. Now what you're looking for on the top, I don't know how well you can see that, but I've still got, you can start seeing as it turns into almost sort of a pancake finish. I've still got sort of quite a lot of white on the top there. I'll probably let that one go a little bit more before I turn it over, but it's almost ready to be turned over. Okay, and then to flip, okay, one, and then just flip it straight over. Okay, onto your spatula and flip it straight over. These really are so easy. That's why we do them camping, because obviously when you're cooking camping, you're often cooking on a hob. There you go, you'll probably hear our alarm go off if I'm not careful. Because it does get quite smoky with all this fat on the top. Right, now you'll notice to the side I have a plate and I've got a piece of kitchen roll on it. Now I'm going to put that into my top oven, but my oven is on underneath with chips in there. So I know that the top oven is warm, but it's not on, so it can't. And look, you can see that if I turn that one over, you can see how that's cooked through. We've got all that lovely cooked sweet corn there. There we go. Alright. And that one the same. And I'm just going to put them in the oven to warm as I do the next layers. Right, and that will keep them warm while I do the others. Now, as I said, one of the things I was going to show you is how I can add bacon to them. Now, I will need to cook the bacon first because you can see they weren't in there for that long. So I'm just going to cook the bacon first, quite quickly. The nice thing is, this will also add a bit of flavour to the oil in the pan. You can see it's quite a bit of oil in there, so I'm having to be very careful because it is spitting. And I'm very gently moving it around, although it might look like I'm being quite erratic, but I am gently moving it around. Okay, I'm happy, so you can see now that bacon has changed colour all the way through. So So it's no longer looking raw. It's looking cooked through enough that I can add that in with my sweet corn. Okay, so move that off the hob for a second. Take those out and add them in with my fritter mix. Now, I could have done that right at the beginning, but I wanted to show you sweet corn fritters without the bacon in them. Try not to get the oil too much going over into the pan. I'm trying to just get the bacon to go over. Okay, so I've still got some oil there. Right, and you can now see I've got my bacon in with my sweet corn. Okay, I'm going to turn that down a little bit now. Not off, just down a little bit, because that pan's really quite hot now. Right, so I'll bring you in over so you can see a little bit more of how to do it. Okay, so just show you a couple of sweet corn and bacon ones. Exactly the same way. Just pop them in, and you can see how easy it is just to add any other ingredient you want to. So you can make these however you want, and you can add in whatever ingredients you want. You still want enough batter to bind those ingredients together when they go onto the pan. You can make some small, some large. Right, so you can see I'm on my last few now, and I'm right at the last bottom bit of the bowl. So just to make sure you get out all that last bit, because we don't want any waste with this one. You can then start to just pour those last bits over the top of your last two to finish it off. There we go. Another good thing about this recipe, no waste. Okay. Again, make sure they sit in the oil, because the oil will help them cook through. Now, the pan's got a lot hotter now because I've been doing all the others as well. So actually they will cook a lot faster. But you do need to watch that, because you need to watch the heat of the oil. And I have had to turn it down a little bit as well. So they're cooking faster. The oil is also cooking faster. This one does not want to turn over. There we go. Hey! I have my tea towel ready to bring out my ones that are in the oven already. So you can see that actually that batter mix that I've made has actually made quite a few. Okay, so I'm just going to add those two on top. Goes great salad and chips, which is how we're having them tonight. But there you go. So that's family of 4. There's about 20 there, which is not bad at all if you ask me. All good. Enjoy.